Businesses are not keen on hiring people with autism. That's according to the findings of a study conducted last year. Well, today is World Autism Day, and the focus is on workplace inclusion. To help us understand the challenges and obstacles of living with autism is Dr. Maggie Mojapelo from the Mediwell Health Group joining us this morning. Doc, good morning, and thanks so much for your time. And I'm really glad that this year the focus seems to be on autism and the workplace. What are we seeing in terms of people being hired or not being hired, and in terms of discrimination against people with autism in the workplace?
First of all, thank you for celebrating this World Awareness Day today and making the public aware of the challenges that autism beneficiaries are facing. And of course, we cannot even start talking about the programs that are in place for autism in the workplace. As far as I'm concerned, they are non-existent, especially in South Africa. And the reason is from, the ecosystem of diagnosing autism, understanding autism, awareness of autism, right up to the workplace. It is not coordinated. It is not clearly understood, let alone diagnosing the young ones with autism. We don't have sufficient resources in the country, but we can put them together. But at this point in time, it's non-existent. So we are failing the beneficiaries, the older beneficiaries of autism that are supposed to be employed in the workplace. And according to South Africa, 1% at least of each workplace should have people with disabilities. And if we take steps to find out which companies have employed adults with autism, the statistics are almost non-existent.
Well, Dr. Mojapelo, I suppose the concern out there, or people might be wondering, but how is it that, how are we supposed to hire somebody where, their needs can't actually be seen? We're not sure what their sensitivities might be, because autism, and we know that the spectrum is wide, or autism comes with different needs. Different people have different needs. It's not just saying, sort of, I have to put up a wheelchair ramp if it's somebody who comes with a disability of that kind. So what would be your guidance when it comes to that, with people saying, okay, I'd like to hire somebody, I'm not discriminating, but how would I know how to cater for them?
I think it is for companies to comply with the statutes. If we say we are hiring 1% of people with disabilities, first of all, companies have got a special departments that are dedicated to such, such a requirement. Like if you have to hire a person with a condition like autism, you have to first understand the resources that are available. You have to understand what it is, how to handle the beneficiaries or adults with autism in a workplace. And remember, 24% of the adults with autism have got below average intelligence and non-verbal, and 44% have got average intelligence like me and you, and quite a percentage, let's say about 15%, they've got above average intelligence. If we take some of the people, renowned people, like some of the celebrities, some of the scientists, they have been living with autism. So the companies should access resources that made them understand the autism as a condition, just like any other condition and not a disorder, and utilize those resources that are available to ensure that they incorporate them in the workplace.
Well, you are very right. There are certainly lots of well-known people who are high-functioning, and I think that's the term that is used. They are high-functioning on the spectrum as well. And what industries, though, Doc, would you say would be most able to accommodate people with autism? Like you say, many are super intelligent, especially when it comes to IT, I think, from what I've observed and what I've read and seen. In the IT sector, we have a lot of people who might do well when it comes to sort of applying their skills, those with autism. What other industries would be best suited?
Yeah, for instance, IT is one of the leading. Most IT disruptions, if we do research on that, you find a lot of beneficiaries with autism. And then we've got arts in terms of drawing, graphics, graphic designers, because these people, we should remember that they thrive well in their own space, but they utilize their minds, to disrupt some of the human solutions and that we have seen. So IT, arts, graphics, designers, and multimedia, certain aspects of multimedia. And I have to mention that we've got a doctor in our space who's just got the autism trait.
Yes.
And he's one of the popular doctors. We've got quite a number of doctors that we can diagnose, because I'm in that space. I can talk freely about it. And they do quite well in that environment, and they are living in, they've got traits of autism.
Yes.
So I would say that obviously the work that needs a person to not to interact a lot with other workers, IT, graphics, and arts, I've said, and they do well in this, in this occupation.
All right. Well, thanks very much for that, Dr. Maggie Mojapelo. She's from the MediWell Health Group on World Autism Day, just talking about incorporating those who have autism into the workplace, and there are many, many industries where they do shine.